what Harley's been doing is they've been correcting things as years go on.
Today we're going to be talking about reliability in the modern day Harley Davidson market.
As a shop owner and someone who works on bikes on a daily basis, do you see more issues with the older bikes or the newer bikes?
We need to get on that bike and do some more content. All right, today we're going to be talking about reliability in the modern day Harley Davidson market. Now here we have my 2024 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. Absolutely love this bike. We've obviously done a ton of work to it, but today we're going to be digging deeper into the whole reliability realm when it comes to all their modern motorcycles and their older motorcycles, older models. So we're going to start talking about any issues that I've had with this bike or my other current bikes that I've had throughout the years. And then we're also going to shoot over to Torque Custom Cycles, where we're going to sit down with Mike, and Mike's going to dig even deeper with us on any little issues that he sees on a day-to-day basis at his shop. And they compare the new style bikes compared to the old ones. Were there more issues with the older ones? Is there more issues now? Are they small issues? Are they big issues? So for any of you guys that are out there in the market and you're either looking to buy a new Harley Davidson or an old Harley Davidson, you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to get yourself into and what to avoid, what to look forward to. And yeah, do a little cold start right here real quick. This bike just sounds so good. Different things in the past years. Are they money pits? Are they lemons? That's kind of what I want to talk about and clear up the lines a bit, because there is a lot of people that are getting into the brand, and what tends to happen is that people who tend to get in the brand, they go by what they have heard about the company, what it was decades ago, right? So whatever was decades ago, it's nowhere near what it is now. Harley is way, way far from the company that they were, let's say in the 90s, in the 80s, right? It's a different company now. It is what it is. It's new on all ends. Everything is more modern. Designs have changed. We've seen newer bikes, for example, the Pan America, the Sportster went out, and then they came out with the Nightster, which is supposed to be the new Sportster. The redesign of the baggers. And then this bike in particular right here, the Lowrider ST, which has been one of the most popular bikes since it came out.
We're back. All right, so back to what we were talking about before. Reliability. Just to catch up on what I was talking about on the way over here is more so on how reliable or less reliable the Harley Davidson modern bikes are to the old ones. And then in part of that, do you or have you seen, as a shop owner and someone who works on bikes on a daily basis, do you see more issues with the older bikes or the newer bikes? And then once you get into that, when it comes to the newer bikes, because most of the time people are going to be looking at this, what are some, if there are any issues on the newer bikes that you're finding or you're seeing?
We're seeing differences. So the older bikes prior to the Gen 2 of the Touring, as you know, in 2017, we had oil transfer issues, we had oil pump sumping issues, and that all got corrected. So what Harley's been doing is they've been correcting things as years go on. Mm-hmm. The new bikes, the 23 and a halves and up, the new body style Gen 2, The engines seem to be pretty good. We haven't had any real issues with that.
I mentioned about them having some electrical issues.
So they have an issue with the ignition coil harness.
Okay.
I've repaired probably 4.
Okay.
And out in Sturgis, the owner of Impact Wiring Solutions, who's making one of the new tuners, he told me he repaired 17 bikes during Sturgis.
Oh, wow.
With broken ignition coil wires. So what seems to be happening is it looks like Harley really, the wires are much thinner than they were in the
Are they
past.
snapping or something? Or?
So they're much thinner, and where I've dissected them and taken them apart, it looks like where they crimp the wire to the connector, it's actually severing some of the connections in there.
Okay.
So that's what I'm seeing. There's actually companies out there. This one, I couldn't find the one I was looking for, but I know NAMS actually makes a harness for the ignition coil now that replaces all the wires. This isn't the NAMS one, but this is what I found online. So this will go into your coil. These wires are replaced, and this goes all the way up to the backbone tray underneath the tank, and you solder in the four wires.
Gotcha.
To get rid of those thin wires that are breaking all the time. So that's one issue I've seen.
But besides that little issue with the baggers, they're
I've seen a couple of other things, me personally, on my own CVO. I've started the bike a few times, and I've gotten full functionality of the screen, but I've had no volume.
Okay.
So the volume goes up and down. You can see things playing. You can hear it. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing coming out of the speakers.
Electrical stuff. How about the softails?
I haven't seen anything wrong with the softails yet.
I brought up that thing about the bolt under the monoshock that snapped that they recalled their...
But on the new softails, that's been corrected.
It's been corrected,
That's been corrected.
Me personally, I was telling everybody, like, I've had my bike for 2 years. I had no issues. I did brought up the fact that when I had my 2020, I had the issue with the cylinder that was happening to a few bikes, and that also got corrected with the newer models. Or even like the 23s and up are fine. I haven't heard of anything.
Now, the only thing I am hearing things about right now is the 121 motors, the non-VVT 121 motors. I just had a conversation with Cyclorama when I was ordering some cams, and they've dissected a few of these motors, and they're not happy with the 121 pistons. They think that there's going to be problems in the future. I didn't get into it with them.
But have you seen issues?
I haven't seen them, but they're really...
It's like a theory.
It's a theory that there's going to be issues with the 121s only.
Okay. All right. So pretty much, like, would you say that the newer bikes are more reliable than the older ones? Let's just say your average Harley from the 90s or 80s.
All right. So obviously, depending on what model you have, starting from early 2000s, as they started to switch over to fuel injection, they're always going to be more reliable than the carburetor, in my opinion. Okay. Some guys swear and they're going to yell at us on the video and be like, "No, carburetors are the shit."
That's our guys.
Yeah, but I think fuel injection is much more reliable. It's there. You start the bike. There's no warming up. All of that good stuff. The electronics in the new bikes are the only things that are...
It's a little fishy right now.
A little fishy. Not only do I lose audio on my bike, but sometimes I'll be riding and I'll get the triangle on my screen and I'll lose all my ride modes. And I can't go at it. I got to shut the bike down and reset it and come back on.
Okay.
I also had it happen 2 times where I've turned the bike on the screen with just black. And I get nothing. Bike starts, I can ride, but black.
Is there, like, you think maybe it could be like an update or something?
It could be. What's a nice thing that they did was, years ago, the only updating you could do would be onto USB stick.
Yeah.
So now we've got this USB stick, which is a USB-C stick. This has got the latest Harley update on it prior to over the wire. So now once you put this update on your bike,
it cleans the whole
moving
software
forward,
out.
You're over the wire now. You don't have to do this anymore. It's all over Wi-Fi.
Ah.
So everything can be done over Wi-Fi.
Interesting.
There's no more issues with that.
Okay.
Mine still has to be done. I haven't done it yet, but other than that, I'm just trying to think if I had any other issues.
I really haven't come across anything. I've been in the discussion of, like, mainly for people that are getting into the brand, on how sometimes people may tell them, well, the old bikes suck, or they're not reliable. It's like, no, some of the old bikes are actually really good. Right. I mentioned like the sportsters are like bulletproof, even some of the older softails or twin cams are pretty reliable.
Yeah, the later twin cams.
The later ones, they're awesome.
Bulletproof. I kind of listen. If you do the right thing, and I hate to say this, but if you do the right things to your M8, they're bulletproof. I'm a big fan of M8s. That's mostly what I do.
Yeah.
I have other guys here that do the twin cam, the Evos, and the shovels.
I love M8s, man.
I love the M8.
I love
it.
And
I have both. I have an 03 Softail Springer. I have a CVO 24. I've got a 22 Road Glide and a Pan America.
And a Norton.
And a Norton. But
right there.
I really like my new M8 over my 22.
I prefer my M8 over the twin cam I had on my on the Dyna. I think the M8 is a great engine. It's super smooth. Power delivery is awesome. You could do so much with it. If you want to build up on the motor and build out, awesome for that as well.
We can pull a lot more horsepower out of the M8s than we could the twin cams, just by doing, messing with the timing and tuning them on our dyno. We're pulling way more power out of the M8s.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. This is from a reputable shop. This is where I get all my work done. So if you guys are in the market or look to get some work done on any of your bikes, even in your older bikes, which if you take it to your local Harley dealership, they won't work on a bike that's over 10 years. This is when you bring it over to a guy like Mike, where they do all type of stuff like that.
I have a dedicated guy who does our carbureted stuff, our Evos, shovel heads. He twin cam. He does everything, and then I do later twin cam and M8s.
I just come here to film videos and to help out sometimes. That's gonna be it, guys. If you are in your local area looking for a shop, stop by. Tell Mike I sent you. And hopefully you guys took some knowledge away from today's video. I would kind of like to keep going with this discussion. Maybe we could do a part 2 to it later on, talking about older bikes, newer bikes, and dig deeper into the whole conversation. But yeah, I'm super happy with my bike. No issues on my end. Reliable. I think Harley Davidson has it right for now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should. Do a Q&A.
We should. We could do like a live. I haven't done a live video, and I think I want to do like something live where we do like a Q&A on the part in here in the shop.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be interesting. And you guys can ask all the questions you want about bikes or issues or whatever it may be.
You could ask Junior to find tools in my toolbox and see if he can find them.
We could do that too. Scavenger hunt. All right, guys. Like always, let the force be with you. Ride safe and enjoy the ride, baby. Peace.